coming. I wanted to make a quick little video just kind of showing my 2018 LT10 from Custom Gheenoe. I bought this thing. It was just the hull, the motor, and a trailer. There was no wiring, no anything else. I've kind of just built it out how I think I wanted it to be. So this is my first Gheenoe. Definitely won't be my last. If anybody who owns one of these knows, it's kind of addicting, and the community is so awesome that you just have to love it. So, like I said, it's a LT10. I'll start from kind of front to back. So it's on the standard Continental trailer, nothing special there. At the nose, I've added a cleat for just, docking and everything else. I usually just keep this attached, the line kind of strewn under there. Little battle scar from last year's rally, no big deal. So some of y'all know me, but I make a lot of 3D printed accessories for the Gheenoe. Actually stay on this side. And this is one I'm working on right now. Basically it's a little organizer for this front trolling motor bracket. So you can throw some baits in here, have a beer, whatever in here, little spot for some pliers. I'm just kind of testing this out. It just fits over the top of that. Been on here for a few months now and been great. Working my way back a little bit. So this is my casting platform. This thing just recently underwent a few changes. This is actually from a buddy of mine who had a boat previously and never finished the platform for his boat, and I commandeered it. So you can see underneath here in the back there's my 100 amp hour lithium battery. I think that's probably one of the biggest and best additions I made to this boat. It used to have a Group 24 deep cycle. It was great. Actually added kind of a lot of weight to the front, which is nice on these boats, but it's deep cycle. You don't get all 100 amp hours of that. This lithium has been flawless. I'm not using it as a starting battery because my motor doesn't need that, so it lasts and lasts and lasts. At the Minn Kota 55-pound thrust. This is the Endura Max. And I've been really loving this thing. It's the 42-inch shaft. So it's been a good height, but the platform. So now you can see it tucks all the way up to the front of the nose cap. And underneath, I have my turtle box. Anybody who knows these things knows they're worth it. I think I definitely hesitated to spend the money for a while because it's a $400 speaker. It's not cheap, but the thing rocks. When you're running wide open, you can hear it clear as day, and you can take it with you. So that's why I didn't want to add anything permanent to the boat, because I like the flexibility of being able to take it with me. So this thing's been great. This platform just gets you up a little bit higher. It's been a real nice addition. Still keeps the front nice and open. As you can see, my boat is a low front deck, the bigger center box, and then it's the open kind of more traditional style rear. I'm kind of going all over the place, but go back to the front here. So currently working my way back a little bit. I just now picked up this 8-foot power pole micro anchor stick pin. I had a 9-foot from Stickit. The 9-foot from Stickit is now at the bottom of a river. To combat this, I actually a while back added these Velcro straps, and they've been great, but they're only great if you actually close them. So that 9-foot's gone. I don't think they make the 9-foot anymore, unfortunately. So I have this 8-foot, and I also have another 7-foot that I sometimes bring with me. So yeah, pretty simple on the inside. I've added, these are kind of loosely based off the ones that Gheenoe sells. These are my rod holders on one side of the boat. You can hold 2-3 rods on there. I used to have an elastic band that kind of hold it on there, but I found it really wasn't necessary to keep them in place, and it's quicker to get them out. So that's that. I will go back around to show you the inside of the center box. So in here, I added this little organizer to the top just with some Velcro. Works great, just keeps small things kind of more neatly packed away. In the inside, you can see got all my wiring there. It's a little bit of a mess, but it's pretty nice. And then on here, I kind of borrowed this from another Gheenoe guy, but basically this is some PVC board that I kind of cut and screwed together to make a little organizer for the inside. So I have a bunch of spots for these little cases, a bigger spot for soft plastics and stuff, and then just a few other organizational things. I do keep one bumper on the boat, sometimes two, depending where I'm going. And this has some of my clips for the bumpers. Basically, on these boats, there's no good way to attach a bumper. There's no cleats, there's no anything like that as standard. And if you know Gheenoes, you know that the chine is wider than the rub rail. So the rub rail does not actually rub docks or anything like that. So my solution is these little clips that you can then attach bumpers, or this style, the flat style, whatever you want, and they just fit over the rub rail and hold it in place while you're docked. So it's been a good little quality of life improvement, in my opinion. That's kind of what I like to do, is find problems that I have, and then if others have problems too, that's a good solution for them. So pretty straightforward there. Keep just the accessories that I need. I have my stern light in there. It's been great. So there's also a little LED light that I added. Moving back a little bit, so this is just the grab bar from Custom Gheenoe. I picked this up when I actually went down to buy the boat. I just stopped at the factory on the way back, bought the grab bar, bought the little back cushion, and a few other small things. I was running the Custom Gheenoe electrical box for a while. I'm actually going to shift back over to the other side now. So I was running their fiberglass e-box, and I really liked it. Probably my fault, but eventually on a trip down, actually back on the way back from Florida last year, it came loose and ended up the holes kind of got walled out. It fell and cracked, and I just wanted to do something different. So this is something that I designed myself. Everything here is 3D printed. This is 3D printed. This switch panel is 3D printed. This little organizer on top, also 3D printed. And I have a little Bluetooth speaker controller, so I don't have to touch my phone to change songs or change the volume or whatnot. On the inside, I added this little cubby. So I figured if I'm making this, designing this in 3D, I can do whatever I want. So this holds, it could hold a 12-ounce can, whatever you want to throw in there. There's a little kind of tray in there to keep it look nice. Drainage hole, so if water gets in there, it can drain out. So yeah, really happy with this. This thing was a lot of trial and error to get to work right, but I really enjoy it. Not something I'm going to be selling. It's just a little too involved and requires a lot of filament. So underneath it, you can see we had the wiring that goes up through the base here. There's a light that I added, kind of recessed in there, and that's that drainage hole on the other side. So yeah, all the wiring runs up there nice and clean, and you have a lot of room. So just have a Garmin. This is like the Echo Map 73 CV or something. It's fine, nothing special. I don't use it a ton, but it's good to have. Two of the little robo clips. These things are great. If they just kind of clip on. You can move them wherever you want. You can take it to the front of the boat if you wanted to, and attach it to the legs of the platform. Another little 3D printed thing. So this is actually made out of flexible filament TPU, and it's made so your phone can just kind of slide in there when you're running. So for a seat rather, I was running a cooler, but I found that it was just too high for me. So when you're sitting on top of the cooler here, I'm not a very tall person. I'm like 5'8", so you were doing a little dangling with your feet, and I just didn't like having all that weight in the back. So this is one of the Yeti Go boxes, the 30, I think they're called. Added a little pad on top for sitting. It's not the most comfortable, but it works. And then the inside, I just keep whatever I want to keep dry, so stuff like that. This pops up, and there's more space below. This thing's been awesome. It's I hate paying for Yeti stuff, but at the time there really was nothing else like this, and there really still isn't. So that's been great. Just using the same points I had before for the cooler and some straps. So that's pretty much everything here in the main kind of cockpit area and fishing area. Moving back, so I have a Yamaha 15 horsepower. This is the manual start, no power tilt, all that. It's just a real basic 15. I have added the 20 horsepower carburetor. So these motors for this year range, the 15 and the 20 are the same block. They're the same everything else. The only difference is the carburetor. So I swapped the carb to that, and it's a 20 horsepower carb now. It rips. This boat now, I think I have a Solus. I can't remember if I think it's a 12 pitch. I don't know, but I'll put it in the description. And this thing now runs about solo with me loaded as you see it here, even with a cooler on it. It runs 31, 32 miles an hour. Haven't really taken it out much with two people on it yet since I changed the prop and the carburetor, but this thing has been awesome. So before, most of these boats you're going to see that have the little portable orange or red tanks. That was great. 3 gallons is fine, but I kind of want to do something different. So got this 5-gallon spun stainless tank. It's a little dirty still from salt. Need to clean that off, but this thing's been awesome. I really like having the gauge now. That's great. And also just the added capacity. You don't have to fill it up. So if I know I'm not gonna be going out as far and I wanted to keep the weight down, I don't load it up, whatever like that. So I did have to 3D print. You can kind of see there's some feet down here I made to adapt the way this would normally mount in like a car or something, however you would use it. Otherwise, to sit in the boat, just strap down with a stainless ratchet strap. In the back, I also have made this port for the rear light. So this is another part that I 3D printed and just attached to the boat to hold this mount. I didn't want to drill a big hole in the back here for that, so that's nice. Pretty straightforward. My transducer previously was mounted on the stern using one of those adhesive stern saver pads. I know everybody's had good luck with it, but mine actually fell off recently. And it wasn't the adhesion from the pad or the adhesive to the boat. The adhesive tape layer basically stayed on the boat, but the actual, I don't know if it's starboard or what it is, came off. So I need to order another one and try to see if I have better luck this time, but it did run great. I currently just have it sitting as like a through-hole mount, not through-hole mount, but sitting in a pile of duck seal, pressed down real smooth, and it does give you a reading. It's not the most accurate, but for temporary thing until I get the other part in, that's what I'm doing. All right, so I did forget to mention this when I was making the video, but my tiller extension, so this is one that I made myself. It's out of PVC. It's 2 different sizes. It kind of steps down right here, as you can see. And then this grip is something that I 3D printed out of TPU with this channel kind of modeled into it. And then in that channel, I put some paracord to kind of match the color of the boat, give it a nice look. And then the whole thing is covered in this it's basically like shrink tubing, but made for I think these are made for like fishing rod handles and stuff like that. But I found a diameter that worked, slid it over the PVC, hit it with a heat gun, and it shrinks it down and just gives it a way nicer look and protects the PVC from the sun. Eventually this is probably going to be replaced with something. If I get a new boat, I'd like to get one of the, either make my own carbon fiber one or buy one from Carbon Marine. But yeah, this is great for running the boat standing up. Works fine sitting down. It's just a nice length. And I think if you're going to get a tiller to your boat, you're going to need a tiller extension. And then one other thing I did want to mention that I'm working on product-wise is basically this is a way that if you're on the outside of the boat, floating next to it at the beach, in a spring, whatever, we like to enjoy our drinks. So this is a cup holder that attaches to the rub rail pretty much the same way that you would with my clips. So this piece basically just comes off. This clips on to the rub rail like normal, just sits on like that. You can slide this on. I could make different sizes and whatever, but I tested this out last year at the rally and had some good feedback. I just kind of forgot about it, so I've made a few revisions, and hopefully this will be something I have out soon. But yeah, nice little quality of life improvement. So yeah, that's pretty much my Gheenoe. I added the little upright guides for the trailer. This thing's been awesome. I live in North Carolina, so I'm a little away from this thing's home, but it's been great. There's actually a surprising amount of these boats up here in North Carolina, and I've had it down to Florida last year, planning on having it down there again this year. So yeah, this is my 2018 LT-10. If you have any questions about anything, any of the things I 3D printed or anything like that, please just drop a comment. You'll see me post a lot of times in the Gheenoe Holics Facebook group. Great group of guys there, and I'm just gonna keep tinkering. I mean, that's what these things are fun for. You can just make them your own. There's so many different ways to build them out. So yeah, that's it. I'm about to hook it up to the car and take it to the lake. So just wanted to make this video before I got it too much dirty again. So thanks guys, and enjoy your Ghenoes.